Hello everyone, good to see you all again. So y'all really showed up for my last video on classic Disney Channel original movies, and you can watch that video here if you haven't already. And trust me, part 2 is on the way. It's absolutely coming, but today we're talking about something just as iconic, the shows themselves. Also, shout out to everyone who dropped comments on my last video. Here are a few of my favorites. Y'all keep me laughing, and I appreciate the heck out of you. Now tell me if this sounds familiar. Back when flipping the channel to 64 or 292 on DirecTV felt like unlocking a portal, a world where teens had psychic powers, pop star alter egos, or somehow lived in luxury hotels unsupervised. I'm talking about Even Stevens, Raven Baxter, Lizzie frickin' McGuire. These shows weren't just background noise. They were a movement. I mean, Disney had a formula. Between like 1999 and 2011, it was lightning in a bottle. Every show felt like it got ya, awkward phases and all, and they sprinkled on just enough absurdity to make it feel like a dream. I mean, watching Kim Possible, you were half convinced your pager might buzz with a mission. Sweet Life, you were definitely picking up whether you were a Zach or a Cody. I was definitely more of a Cody, sorry not sorry. And the stars, they weren't just characters, they felt like our people. Hilary Duff was your imaginary best friend. Raven was your style guide, and Hannah Montana, iconic. I mean, let's just be real. How did no one figure out that she was the same girl with a wig? Clark Kent wears glasses and no one knows he's Superman. I guess it's the same thing. But this was more than TV. It was a daily ritual, a pop culture boot camp, a full-on identity. So yeah, let's talk about the golden age of Disney Channel shows when the comedy was sharp, the characters felt like friends, and the magic, it was always just one remote click away.
Next, Lewis and Ren are at it again in Even Stevens.
Then get inside her head. Lizzie McGuire is after that.
Alright, so let's kick things off with one of the earlier hits of the golden age, Even Stevens. Now, fun fact, my wife and I just started watching Even Stevens for the first time like last month, and y'all, it's really good. Also, unpopular opinion, I'm not a Beans fan. I know some of you love him. The little dude just never clicked for me. My wife is pissed every time he shows up. But what does click though, the comedy. This show is genuinely funny. Like, laugh out loud, pause to rewind funny. And something else that I like is that it looks like a lot of Even Stevens was shot on real locations, not just sound stages. That gives it this slightly gritty, grounded feel that's super refreshing compared to the more polished studio vibes of other Disney shows. I mean, the family dynamic is something I really enjoy, even though Lewis, and yes, me and my wife call him Even because the show's called Even Stevens. So anyway, anytime we're talking about Lewis, we call him Even. He always messes things up and causes chaos. His family is still there and has his back. Ren is the middle child and a classic good girl overachiever. I really do like that this show has two primary main characters, one a boy and one a girl. I'm sure that was great for their demographics as well. Also, their mom is a senator and their dad is a lawyer. They have a 4-bedroom house that has 1 bathroom. And of course, there's their older brother, Donnie, the sports phenom, who's just kind of there to flex and drop a few funny lines. Now, let's talk about characters a little bit more. Lewis Stevens, played by Shia LaBeouf, is the chaotic, good energy powering the whole show. I mean, he's a walking tornado of mischief, but he's so charming that you can't help but root for him. Ren is super type A. I mean, always trying to keep Lewis in check. Their dynamic is the real heart of the show. I mean, they're total opposites, but deeply bonded as siblings. And yeah, Beans, he just shows up with zero explanation and a ton of weird energy. Once again, I don't like Beans. Come at me in the comments. I don't care. The show's editing is wild and weird. They're doing lots of slow motion zoom ins and fast motion moments, cartoony sound effects. It's so stylized and goofy. It kind of reminds me of Ned's Declassified School Survivor Guide on Nickelodeon. I wonder if the show got its inspiration from Even Stevens. It keeps everything fast paced and visually interesting, and Shia LaBeouf, I mean, say what you want about the guy now, but as Lewis Stevens, he's comedic gold. Great casting choice. The facial expressions, the yelling, the physical comedy, it's just great.
Next, it's a Disney Channel original twofer.
First, it's Lizzie McGuire.
Then check the Maven, That's So Raven.
Hi, I'm Stephen Anthony Lawrence, Beans from Even Stevens, and you're watching Disney Channel. Ta-da!
Now let's talk about Lizzie McGuire. Okay, This one is special. If you were a preteen in the early 2000s, Lizzie wasn't just a character. You probably related to her a lot. I mean, look, I'll be honest, I didn't relate to this show much as a kid, but after rewatching it, I can see why a lot of people did like it. She was awkward, sweet, trying her best to figure it out with her best friend Miranda and Gordo, and of course, the animated Lizzie is just as iconic for many people. I mean, I think Mini Lizzie is a great device to see and hear her inner thoughts and ideas worked out. Hilary Duff was Lizzie in the most effortless way. I mean, she wasn't overly polished or trying too hard. She just was, if that makes sense. And that's probably what made her so relatable, whether she was stressing over outfits, school crushes, or dealing with her annoying little brother Matt. She felt like a real person. The character dynamics are what made the show shine. Lizzie, Miranda, and Gordo were the trio that just worked because Disney Channel works better in threes. Miranda was the stylish, confident BFF with a little edge, while Gordo was the low-key genius with a heart of gold and kind of had feelings for Lizzie. I mean, trying to get out of that friend zone. Their friendship was messy and real. They fought, they made up, they grew up together on screen. Then you had the Maguire family. Joe and Sam, Lizzie's parents, they're dorky in the most lovable way, always trying their best even if they don't quite get it. And Matt, the prankster little brother, was always running some ridiculous scheme in the background. Disney really must have thought they hit their stride with Even Steven to try to almost copy the show, but focus more on the older sister than the brother. I kind of like that. The show was also weirdly ahead of its time with how it balanced comedy with emotional elements. Like, one episode would have Lizzie in a full-blown chaos over a bad yearbook photo, and the next would drop a genuinely heartfelt moment about friendship or growing up. Also, the theme song, I don't know how to describe it, but it's like comforting. It's like the theme song that kind of reminds me of simpler times. I really do like that. But together, Even Stevens and Lizzie McGuire laid the groundwork for what the Disney brand would become. Smart, funny, relatable shows that didn't talk down to kids and in fact made us feel heard and understood no matter how silly or serious the situation. Now, this next Disney show set many Disney Channel records after records. As two of the longest appearing characters in Disney Channel history, we're talking about That's So Raven.
There's 2 Disney Channel originals just for you.
First, get psychic with That's So Raven.
Then get to the party with the Proud Family.
Kids like you express themselves every day on Disney Channel.
My favorite holiday of all time is Christmas. And it's not just a present thing. I just love the whole feeling of Christmas. Everybody's in a good mood around Christmas time.
Thanksgiving, we're all sitting around giving thanks for what we have and like being with our family. And that's just beautiful to me.
I love Christmas because I love family. And Christmas, I mean, it always brings, family together.
Christmas is great to me because that's like the time of year when we all get together as a family. And that's when we come really close.
I absolutely love New Year's. It's a time to start all over and to make new goals.
And I love Thanksgiving only because I like mashed potatoes.
I love bringing in the new year with my family. We just sit around the couch and watch the ball drop. We might scream, but we don't have this whole big party or go to parties or anything. It's just bringing the family together.
Holidays just bring your family together, and you just sit down, have a family dinner, you talk, and it's just really cool.
Disney Channel. Express yourself.
The psychic queen of early 2000s Disney Channel, Raven Baxter wasn't just a character, she was a force played by Raven Simone. Raven brought comedic talent, physical humor, and over-the-top facial expressions that made every episode an event. Her catchphrases, legendary. Her fashion, iconic. Her visions, chaotic. Every time. And the theme song? Banger. I mean, as soon as you heard it, you knew it was about to get wild. The physical comedy and over-the-top hijinks were a huge selling point. Raven was doing full-on stunts, disguise kits, wigs, fake accents. She was the queen of doing the most, and it was always hilarious. She was one of the first black female leads on Disney Channel, and she carried it like a star. The show balanced wild comedic setup with surprisingly thoughtful moments, tackling everything from body image to racism and doing it without losing its humor or its identity. The supporting cast was just as strong. Eddie, played by Orlando Brown, was the lovable goofball best friend, and Chelsea, played by Annalisa Vanderpool, was the sweet and slightly clueless ride or die. I mean, their trio dynamic, threes once again, felt real and loyal, and let's not forget her little brother Corey, always scheming, always hilarious. What made That's So Raven stand out was how it wasn't afraid to be totally ridiculous. Whether it was Raven in disguise, which happened like every third episode, or maybe it was the wild way she tried to stop a vision from coming true, which always made it worse. This might be my only frustration with the show. Raven's visions were self-fulfilling prophecies because she saw the vision and she wanted to do something to stop it from happening. And every time she did something to stop it from happening, that was the reason that it happened, you know? Like, at least most of the time. Raven's relationship with her family, especially her parents, were consistently wholesome. Seeing her father develop as a chef and get his own restaurant was amazing. The Chill Grill seemed like a great spot that I've always wanted to go to. Also, the show wasn't just a fan favorite, it was one of Disney Channel's longest running live action series at the time, and it had legs beyond that. It got a reboot slash spinoff called Raven's Home, which followed Raven and Chelsea as moms raising their kids who, surprise, surprise, get into all the same wild hijinks. Her son has visions too, just like his mom. And of course, Corey in the House, the spinoff centered around her brother, became its own thing, even if it hadn't yet made its way onto Disney Plus. Honestly, the show aged well. The jokes still hit and the message still matters. Raven showed us that being weird, dramatic, and extra was not just okay, it was a superpower.
Next, it's 2 Disney Channel original series.
First, Party with the Proud Family.
Then it's the unstoppable Kim Possible.
For the first time ever, for one night only, your favorite Disney Channel stars are guest starring in each other's shows, back to back to back. It's the can't miss event, That's So Sweet Life of Hannah Montana.
Raven Baxter, that's me.
I'm Cody and this is Zach. I'm Maddie. Hey Maddie.
Oh, Hannah Montana.
I'm Raven. Actually, he's Juan and I'm Camille. Friday, July 28th, Raven meets Zach and Cody, who meet Hannah, who knows London, who gets tricked by Maddie into wearing Raven's dress. After Raven gets Zach and Cody to fool her boss, before she has a vision about their party, which she crashes, that includes a cake that Hannah likes.
Vanilla, my favorite.
It's Disney Channel's first mixed up, mashed up night. That's So Sweet Life of Hannah Montana. Premieres Friday, July 28th at 8/7 Central. Part of Disney Channel's So Hot Summer.
The Proud Family. What?
This was Disney Channel's animated powerhouse, and honestly, it didn't get the flowers it deserved back then. First of all, the theme song. I didn't even have to say anything. You know, it's amazing. Destiny's Child, Beyonce. This show as a whole was hilarious, heartfelt, and culturally rich. It followed Penny Proud, a smart and spirited teenager just trying to navigate family life, school drama, and growing up, while also dealing with her wild grandma and an even wilder cast of neighbors. Penny's family was everything. Oscar, her over-the-top dad, always had some side hustle going, mainly selling Proud snacks, which you all remember and you all wanted to try, or maybe you didn't because they were nasty. This man was a wild character, always yelling, "Trudy! Trudy!
Oscar! What are you yelling about now?
Trudy!" Trudy was the sensible mom who kept everyone in check and in calm spirits. Sugar Mama was the real MVP of the show. Her and Puff, her dog, hilarious, feisty, and way more active than any grandma had any right to be. I mean, she was for sure a standout and still is an iconic character of the show. And she swears she had a little boyfriend who loved her. That man did not love you, Sugar Mama. He was making fun of you every single day and you was eating it up.
No podría pensar que me vieran en público contigo. ¿Tú hablas español? Sí.
Penny had little twin siblings, BB and Cece, and they just added to the chaos. Her friends were a whole vibe too. I mean, we had Dejanay, the loud and loyal and always overstepping, and I think she was pretty boy crazy. Then we had Zoe, who was the awkward nerd, and La Cienega, who was the frenemy with Olympic level shade, and I'm pretty sure there was a whole thing about her having long feet.
Hold it a minute.
The show was never afraid to go big, whether it was slapstick comedies, sci-fi twists, or full-on musical numbers. It also said something. The Proud Family talked about race, identity, and self-respect in ways that were bold for kids' TV shows at the time. It was fun, but it had a real depth. The Proud Family proved that an animated show could be just as sharp, stylish, and meaningful as any live-action one on the channel. Also, it had an original movie where they were stranded on an island filled with peanut people, if I'm remembering it correctly. It also got a revival on Disney Plus a few years ago, and that's been going really well, in my opinion. But yeah, this is for sure a comfort show for me. Lots of interesting storylines and interesting characters. It was very cool to see that coming from Disney Channel. So let's keep this animation train going. with our next show.
Next, there's no sitch they can't handle. Ron and Kim got it covered. Kim Possible is next on Disney Channel.
The animated icon who could do backflips, fight supervillains, ace her classes, and still make it in time for cheer practice. Kim was voiced by the Christy Carlson Romano, aka Ren from Even Stevens, or the girl from Cadet Kelly, right? We talked about that in the last movie. So this made her a 2-time Disney Channel legend. Her attitude was all, I got this, confident, smart, and cool under pressure. Kim Possible had all the cool catchphrases, honestly. And her parents were rocket scientists. They lived in a nice house, so I'm pretty sure they had money. Her main villain was a blue-skinned man named Dr. Draken, the evil genius with very little actual genius. But the real MVP villain was his green sidekick, Shigo, the snarky, stylish, and powerful. And you know what? Yeah, when I was a kid, I had a crush on Shigo. It is what it is. Sue me. What are you gonna do? I was a kid. Their banter with Kim always brought heat, literally and figuratively. I mean, it gave the show that perfect mix of humor and comic book flair. Watching it back, their relationship kind of reminds me of Perry the Platypus and Dr. Doofenshmirtz. Also, the man behind the computer, Wade, we always saw him on Kim's, like, BlackBerry. Is it a BlackBerry? Whatever her little PDA thing is called. It looks like a BlackBerry. But I don't think we ever saw this guy in person, did we? If we did, I don't know. Editing Maurice, double check this and he'll let me know.
Wait, what you did was adorable. That's my boo.
Sorry. We really don't have time for this.
She was your basic average girl who was also a cheerleader and did cool high-action spy work. Whether Kim was scaling buildings or struggling with a crush, it balanced high-stakes action with high-school awkwardness. There was a perfect balance, and we can't forget Ron Stoppable and Rufus. Ron was the loyal, lovable sidekick who never gave up, even if he did freak out a little bit. I mean, I really don't know why she brought him on the mission sometimes, but yeah, a great character. He loved Mexican food. Their hangout spot was the Bueno Nacho. It wasn't just a setting, it was legendary. It was an iconic third place that we all remember. I'm pretty sure Ron even invented the Naco there, and his pet naked mole rat Rufus somehow became a fan favorite. You remember that song they made about Rufus? What is that freaky thing?
What is that? That freaky thing.
So many iconic moments, but the Kim Possible movie, Kim Possible, So the Drama, that was the crown jewel. I mean, first of all, Kim and Ron got to dance together and they finally kissed, and the entire fan base collectively screamed. I mean, I'm sure you all went back to school the next day giddy as hell, like, y'all seen the movie? Y'all seen the movie? Oh my goodness. Once again, Disney Channel made primetime events. That's just how big it was. So Kim Possible showed that animation could be just as funny, heartfelt, and impactful as live action series. It was cool, clever, and had real rewatch value. And then they try to make a live action version of Kim Possible, or maybe they did. I don't know. We don't talk about that. Do we talk about that one? Yeah? No? Yeah. Now on to Phil of the Future, a show that, in my opinion, is totally unappreciated.
The future's landed. Phil of the Future's coming up next.
Then, they're twins living in the coolest crib. The sweet life of Zach and Cody is after that.
Meet a boy named Phil and his family on vacation from the 22nd century.
It'll follow Phil Diffie, a teen from the year 2121 who gets stranded in the early 2000s with his family after their time machine, which looks like an RV, malfunctions during a vacation. They basically explained it out in that intro right there. They crash land in present-day suburban America and have to blend in while Lloyd, the dad, works on fixing their time machine. All right, so let's break down the Diffies. We have Phil is your classic cool but kind teen adapting to the 2000s high school life while also hiding a secret that he is from the future. Then we have Pim, his sister, who is a chaotic genius and always scheming or trolling someone. Then there's Lloyd and Barbara, the parents who try to keep things under wraps. Lloyd is constantly tinkering with the broken time machine and he just can't fix it. That's like a whole subplot throughout the whole show. And Barbara is hilariously adjusting things like stovetop cooking and paper books. And then there's Curtis, the family's caveman, who they treat like a pet. They accidentally scooped him up during a time travel stop in the Stone Age. He's living in their garage and is just out here vibing in the 21st century, learning English, discovering new foods, and just being a confused but lovable character. The show really leaned hard into its fish out of water humor and it pulled it off. The future tech was a highlight. I mean, at the time of its release at least, from spray on clothes to the wizard device that basically did everything. But watching now, it's kind of wild of how close some of the gadgets are to real life today. Like FaceTime, voice memos, GPS. Yeah, we've basically kind of got it all. Phil's best friend and eventual love interest, Keely, played by Ali Mashaka, added heart to the show. I mean, their dynamic had so much charm. She's bubbly, curious, and balances Phil's cool demeanor perfectly. Curtis the Caveman added a weird but endearing energy to the show, and the Diffie family antics gave it depth beyond just like sci-fi gags. And fun fact, even when Lloyd finally fixed the time machine, they decided to stay in the present because they had grown to love their life there. So many of you probably don't remember this show. I think what I remember most was the Halloween episode because it was actually scary at the time, at least. So yeah, Phil of the Future wasn't the loudest Disney show on the block, but it had clever writing, a super likable cast. I mean, it was hitting all the buttons, for me at least. The ideas were just way ahead of their time. It totally deserves more credit than it gets. Well, partial credit at least. Anyway, I'm a bit tired, so I think it's time that I check into the world-renowned hotel, the Tipton.
When you check into the Tipton, expect soft pillows, great service, and these guys? The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody. Next on Disney Channel.
Any last-minute sign-ups?
I'd like to audition, Miss Darbus.
I'll sing with her.
Troy Bolton is not in my show.
You're the team leader, not a singer.
Do you ever think maybe I could be both?
We're breaking free.
High School Musical, coming in January on Disney Channel.
The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody. This show premiered on March 18th, 2005 and quickly became a Disney staple. I mean, I really can't believe that this show premiered that early. I didn't think it was 2005. I thought it was like late 2000 show, but it ran for 87 episodes over 3 seasons and earned 2 Emmy nominations, which is a rare feat for kids sitcoms. Most Disney Channel shows only have like between 50 and 60 episodes, so having 87 was for sure a success indicator. So why did the show click for us? The obvious reason was that they were twin boys who got to live in a nice luxury hotel doing almost whatever they wanted. I mean, living in the Tipton Hotel was every kid's dream. Each episode took us on a new adventure. One day it was a talent contest, the next it was an impromptu science fair, or maybe even an audition for their school who was putting on their version of High School Musical. No matter what it was, it always ended up with the twins in chaos front and center. Dylan and Cole Sprouse delivered incredible twin chemistry because, well, they were real brothers. Zach was the troublemaking rock star and prankster. Cody was the more sensitive genius, always scrambling to clean up Zach's messes. But just because Cody was the smart one doesn't mean he also wasn't a young boy who just wanted to have fun. He also had his fair share of destruction, and other characters include Mr. Mosby, played by the iconic Phil Lewis, the stern, lexicon-loving hotel manager who kind of reminds me of Mr. Milchick just a little bit. He played the perfect straight man, balancing warmth and exasperation. Esteban, the overly kind Spanish accent bellhop, his physical comedy and heartfelt optimism made him unforgivable. Then there was Arwen, the genius inventor and custodian who had a crush on the boy's mom. His wild gadgets and failed spin-off ideas made him a cult favorite. There was Maddie, played by Ashley Tisdale, the grounded candy counter girl whose relatability and evolving confidence paved the way for her later breakout as Sharpay in High School Musical, and Candace's voice actor in Phineas and Ferb. And then there was also London Tipton, played by Brenda Song. She was the heiress to the Tipton Hotel name, essentially a character based on Paris Hilton. London Tipton, it kind of rhymes. An airheaded character who just loves fashion and is loaded with money. Some of the most memorable episodes for me, at least, was the episode where they were auditioning to be on their version of his school's High School Musical, and Maddie is like, people tell me I look like Ashley Tisdale, and the director is like, I don't see it.
What are you trying out for? Hello? Sharpay? People say I look just like her. Really? I don't see it.
Another episode I think everyone agrees is iconic is the Halloween episode. You know the one. It wasn't just laughs. The show tackled real stuff like class, family, and growing up, all while feeling light and goofy. Mostly goofy. And it had a crossover with That's So Raven and another show that we'll be covering soon, Hannah Montana, called That's So Sweet Life of Hannah Montana. But before we get into all that, we have to talk about the spin-off series, Sweet Life on Deck. They set sail again on the Sweet Life on deck on the SS Tipton. The pilot premiered in September 26, 2008 with an astonishing 15.7 million viewers, the most watched Disney Channel premiere that year, and it became the #1 scripted show for tweens and pre-tweens in 2008 and stayed a top draw for several seasons until it ended in 2011. I mean, there were many familiar faces and a few new ones. There was Zach, Cody, London, and Mr. Mosby, of course, and the kids went to school on what was called Seven Seas High. This part I found interesting because in the later seasons of Sweet Life and Sweet Life on Deck, they really had Zach, Cody, Maddie, and London go to the same schools, but they're supposed to be in different age ranges. I would say they're like 4 years apart, but in Sweet Life on Deck, it seems like London is in the same grade as the boys, maybe because London just kept failing school. Makes sense to me. But because they were trailing on a cruise ship, the show added a whole world of adventure and culture, traveling to destinations like Greece, India, Morocco. So the new characters we got were Bailey Pickett, who was a small town girl with the smarts and heart, instantly became Cody's perfect match. Y'all remember when they had like a open audition to see who would play the new character? Or am I tripping?
Hey, I'm Debbie Ryan, 14 years old.
I read about the role of Bailey, and I knew I wanted it. I just instantly fell in love.
I just can't go home yet. I can't. You have to promise you won't tell anybody I'm a girl.
Then we had Woody Fink, who was Cody's roommate during the show, and Marcus, who appeared in the last season, I believe. He's an ex-pop singer learning to cope with teenage regular life abroad. Woody is very lazy and messy and does not excel at schoolwork, but I mean, he's a very good character. I like Woody. And of course, Phil Lewis reprises his role as Mr. Mosby with even more nuance, trying to keep control of a floating chaos machine as he chaperones teens around the world. Once again, very iconic character. The show was actually renewed during this mid-first season, making it one of Disney Channel's longest running continuous characters at the time, with 138 episodes across both shows. Dylan and Cole even wanted to make a college version of the show, but Disney, I guess, just wasn't going for it, so the boys went to college in real life. The show stood out because of their ensemble cast. Let's be real. Every supporting actor, Mosby, Arwen, Esteban, grew beyond one-off roles. Their quirks became essential parts of the show. It had a unique premise, a luxury hotel, and cruise ships that offered endless doors to creativity. Ratings consistently beat peers like Hannah Montana and Wizards, becoming staples in tween TV blockbusters. But together, this duo of shows was more than TV. It was a passport to a carefree and childlike world, yet packaged with sophistication and heart. You could say it was the best of both worlds. This show was a huge money maker for Disney. On top of the show being a hit, it had hit songs. Literally, Disney had the best of both worlds. The most bonkers successful show on Disney Channel's golden age easily was Hannah Montana. This show ran from 2006 to 2011, and it launched with 5.4 million viewers, the biggest series premiere in Disney Channel history at the time, and quickly became a global sensation. The main character was Miley Stewart, your everyday girl next door, except with one small secret. Just a little secret. She was actually an international pop star named Hannah Montana. With a blonde wig, some sparkles, and a stage name, she was living the best of both worlds. Her father in the show is actually her father in real life too, which I believe kind of gave the show its realism. It wasn't just acting, it was kind of real. So when he sent Miley to her room, like, he was actually mad at her. At least to me as a kid, I was like, oh my goodness, they're not acting. Also, I have to mention, Hannah Montana was real. Like, Miley Cyrus had to do these real concerts as Miley in real life. Like, she had to perform as Hannah Montana, and you could go to a Hannah Montana concert in real life. This wasn't just a clever show idea. This was a brand. Hannah made kids imagine juggling math class by day and sold out concerts by night. And Miley Cyrus made it believable. She brought charm, energy, and major comedic chops to the role. She wasn't trying to be a perfect Disney star. She was just being herself, and that authenticity made her magnetic. I mean, the supporting cast made it all work, of course, too. There was Lily Truscott, played by Emily Osment, who was the best friend everyone wanted, the ride or die, funny, loyal, and totally down for anything Hannah had planned. There was Oliver Oken, played by Mitchell Musso, who was the lovable goofball and brought pure chaos and eventually got his own shot at pop stardom. And then there was Jackson, played by Jason Earls, who was the ultimate older brother, always causing trouble, rarely acting his age, even though he definitely wasn't a a teen in real life, and somehow totally endearing. Robbie Ray Stewart, played by Billy Ray Cyrus, her real dad, her show dad, and occasionally the moral compass. I mean, he brought country charm and calm dad energy that balanced out the teen's craziness. And of course, the music, bangers.
We were a movie, you'd be the right guy, I'd be the best friend that you'd fall in love with. In the end, we'd be laughing, watching the sunset fade to black, show the names, play that happy song.
Best of both worlds. Nobody's perfect. If We Were a Movie, Rockstar. These weren't just TV songs. They hit the Billboard charts. I mean, concert tours, a 3D movie, Hannah Montana the movie. It made $169 million worldwide. And the merch? Wild. Hannah lunchboxes, Hannah wigs, Hannah Montana karaoke machines. It was an empire. And the transitions for the show, the little transition music. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. But what made the show so special was how it grew. It wasn't afraid to get real. As Miley got older, so did the storylines. We saw her struggle with fame, self-identity, and friendship. In the final season, Hannah Montana Forever, which had them in a new house. I think it changed the show's name and info in the last season to prevent everyone from getting a raise on the show. That's like a Hollywood common thing. Like after 3 seasons, they get a raise. But it ended with a real choice. Stay Hannah Montana or be just Miley. And that final scene of her walking into the sunset, it hit hard. The show also racked up awards like Teen Choice Awards, Kids Choice Awards, and multiple Emmy nominations. Miley Cyrus became a household name, and whether you love the show, the music, or the chaos that came after, Hannah Montana was a moment, a movement, and a whole mood. Let's not forget, she was part of Disney Channel's legendary 3-part crossover, That's So Sweet Life of Hannah Montana. Once again, iconic, which she literally checked into the Tipton Hotel. My mind was blown. This was up there with Jimmy Timmy Power Hour, which I might have to cover. This wasn't just a show. It was a pop culture lightning in a bottle and amazing time in history. If you're still watching this video, give me a comment down that says I'm a goofy goober. Leave a like and subscribe also.
The true test of talent in the Russo family is how well you wave a line. A new episode of Wizards of Waverly Place is next on Disney Channel.
Now let's get into Wizards of Waverly Place, which first hit the scene in 2007 and stayed strong until 2012 with over 100 episodes. The Russo family lived in a cozy spot above the sandwich shop in Greenwich Village, New York City, but they were hiding one magical secret. Alex, Justin, and Max were all in training to become the family wizard, with only one allowed to keep their powers. This whole show was basically teeing up them and us, the audience, for a final battle between the 3 family members, which we did get to see in the Wizards of Waverly Place movie. Alex Russo, played by Selena Gomez, became an instant Disney icon. She was sarcastic, rebellious, and very cool. A total contrast to the good girl leads of earlier shows, but her older brother Justin was the overachiever, the type A personality, the more cautious one, and honestly, he should have won the wizarding contest, but I'm gonna leave that alone. Max, the lovable oddball, and together they made sibling chaos feel magical. Their parents, Jerry and Teresa, grounded the show with humor and heart, while Harper, Alex's best friend, brought fashion experiments and total loyalty. Oh, and the funky hats.
What's that? A hat? Crazy, funky, junky hat. Overslept, hair unsightly, trying to look like Keira Knightley. We've been there, we've done that. We see right through your funky hat.
The show had spells we wish we had in real life, some cool VFX and weird incantations, but it also had some of Disney's best writing. The family dynamic was layered and genuine. The comedy was sharp. The emotional moments hit hard. Whether it was Alex struggling with responsibility or the family facing the possibility of losing their magic forever, the stakes always felt real. Any small mess up they did could lead to huge consequences, like monsters leaking from the magic world to the real world, and they had to clean it up. Let's talk about the Wizards of Waverly Place movie. This was one of the biggest Disney Channel movies of its time, which I'm gonna be real, it's hard to believe, but it does make sense because this was basically part of the finale for the show itself. It pulled in over 11 million viewers and won an Emmy. And when the series finale aired, nearly 10 million people tuned in. That's how invested the fans were. Selena Gomez has even credited this show as the foundation for her entire career. She wasn't just the star, she was the core of the show's tone and heart. And now, with the new revival series in 2024, Justin as a mentor and a fresh generation of wizards, it's clear that the Russo family's legacy is still alive and well. Wizards of Waverly Place was fantasy done right for kids. I mean, I didn't click with the show at first, but it did really grow on me, and that's why it's on this list.
Next, hang out with Phineas and Ferb, where every day is the best day ever. Catch Disney Channel's original series, Phineas and Ferb, on Disney Channel.
Okay. First of all, 104 days of summer. Maybe it's just me, but I think our summer vacations was like 2.5 months, which would be like 80 days at max. 104 is wild. This show was one of Disney's biggest creative swings that totally paid off. Phineas and Ferb premiering in 2007. Now, I may be wrong, but I think this came right out after High School Musical 2 had premiered. The animated series didn't just break the mold, it laughed at it, built roller coasters out of it, and then made a musical number about it. Every episode followed stepbrothers Phineas and Ferb as they try to make the most of summer vacation, and by make the most, I mean building theme parks, space stations, time machines, casual genius level inventions, all while their sister Candace tried to bust them for some reason. And the B-plot is always Perry the Platypus trying to defeat Dr. Doofenshmirtz and his new Innator, which ends up getting rid of whatever Phineas and Ferb had created for the day. The show was uniquely structured. It had a formula: the invention, Candace's mission, the mom being preoccupied with errands elsewhere, Perry the Platypus versus Dr. Doofenshmirtz, but it never got old. That rhythm made it feel reliable, and the writing kept it fresh. The humor was fast, clever, and loaded with references that landed for both kids and adults. When I watched some episodes back, it's genuinely great writing. And the music was next level. I know many of you know these songs by heart. Let's not act like we don't. Gitchy Gitchy Goo, I Ain't Got Rhythm, Busted, Certified Bops. These weren't just throwaway cartoon songs. They were catchy, funny, and impressively diverse in style. Perry as Agent P lived a whole double life as a secret agent battling not so evil sciences Dr. Doofenshmirtz. That subplot could have been a throwaway gag, but it worked. The Dr. Doofenshmirtz backstory, weirdly emotional, and their rivalry was like Looney Tunes meets spy thriller. The show's legacy is wild. I mean, it ran for over 220 episodes, multiple specials. It had 2 movies, and even a crossover with another show, Milo Murphy's Law, created by the same creator. It won Emmys, it ruled rerun blocks, and became a multi-generational fan favorite. And a revival was just launched this June on Disney+. This show just had a home run from jump, a hit out of the park, and it cemented its icon status in Disney Channel's Hall of Fame. All right, let's wrap it all up and let's talk about the show that brought some serious heart to Disney Channel lineup. Good Luck Charlie. I was starting to age out of Disney Channel around this time, premiering in 2010. This was probably like the cusp show. Like, I probably watched the first half and didn't watch the other half because I was watching reality TV. This series felt different. It wasn't about secret identities, second visions, or time travel. It was about a regular family navigating everyday chaos, and that made it feel real. It was like a Disney version of a classic family sitcom. Think Full House meets Malcolm in the Middle. And it followed the Duncan family, a household bursting with love and a little too much energy. Teddy Duncan, played by the CEO and space engineer Bridget Mendler, was our narrator, filming advice videos for her baby sister Charlie to watch when she got older. There was Charlie, who was the adorable toddler that somehow always stole the scene, PJ, the lovable doofus older brother, Gabe, the sarcastic middle brother, Amy and Bob, the chaotic, well-meaning parents who were just trying to survive. The family chemistry was so good, you felt like you knew them. The writing was clever and full of heart, and it wasn't afraid to let moments just breathe. Emotional beats hit harder here, like Teddy leaving for college or Charlie learning something big, and you could tell the show respected its audience a lot. It also launched Bridget Mendler's Disney career. Her vocals were great, and the theme song, Hang In There Baby, is a classic. Good Luck Charlie showed that Disney Channel could do grounded, relatable storytelling without a big gimmick. It was the perfect closer to the golden era, in my opinion. It was sincere, funny, and full of family warmth. It reminded us that magic doesn't always need superpowers. Sometimes it's just about being there for your people. And to that I say, good luck, Charlie.